headlines and promises to shake the broadcast industry to its core. This is the DVR. In function, it's much like a VHS, but in its convenience, it's unparalleled. Instead of putting a tape in, setting a time after checking the TV guide, you would have a TV guide more or less installed on the device. You can browse through all the shows on all the networks and record them straight to a hard drive. It can even automatically skip ads, although that feature would be deemed illegal for the next 10 years or so. More or less, the live television schedule could have no bearing on when you actually watch TV. And unlike VHS tapes, the quality wouldn't degrade over rewinding and pausing and re-recording. This worried networks. This made it so people could feasibly never tune in again live, and on those re-recordings, they wouldn't even see a glimpse of those valuable ads. But early on, the networks managed to make it work. It wasn't as widespread and cheap as VHS was, and many people were content in their ways. The rental market would be affected greatly by new services like Netflix, which would allow you to order DVDs online, which would be delivered over the mail quickly and without late fees. As time went on, DVRs became part of cable packages, and sports options would get viewers to fork out hundreds. TV was still king for now, and those in charge found ways to keep people interested. The only true competition was in its infancy, and its potential wasn't even close to being realized. This was online video, and it had been around to limited success. Poor video quality and bad internet connections, along with the general lack of content, really left it in a novelty category. But then Netflix began streaming video online. At first, it didn't leave the impact you would expect. Granted, it still suffered from bad load times and a really lackluster catalog, but it showed promise. Internet bandwidth really held back a lot of these early initiatives. YouTube was also starting up, but the last thing anybody called it was a TV competitor. Until it was. Now, in the 2010s, everything changes. It all came about pretty quickly. The smartphone let people watch things on the go. As cellular data went from 2G to 3G to 4G, home Wi-Fi was getting better, and TV packages were as expensive as ever. Netflix eventually got more content. Hulu came around, giving more options to the public with a bigger focus on television shows. And YouTube's introduction of practical monetization allowed the birth of full-time creators, and it all happened in just a few years. Now we're in the late 2010s, well, at least when this video was recorded. People that are moving out for the first time aren't giving cable companies hundreds of dollars a month anymore, because, well, why would they? Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, it all became not just supplementary, but the entire television experience. And since the early 2010s, even more arguably outlandish services arose. Twitch was seen as a strange idea that catered to few, and now it's rising to the peak of pop culture. Speaking of, if you want to watch me stream and talk about pointless stuff, check me out on Twitch. But anyway, just go and ask somebody in their 20s or early 30s if they have satellite or cable. I bet you would be hard-pressed to find a single one. The benefits surely don't outweigh the cost. It's not to say television is gone, because obviously people still watch it, but the younger demographics are unwilling to go back to the antiquated methods. DVR, even with auto ad skip, can't compete with Netflix binge watching. Convenience won out. Sports are still primarily on television, and only recently have been going to other sites. Well, it just so happens interest in many conventional sports is down for the younger generation. This could do with the fact it's harder to watch sports without a traditional TV service, or maybe people just have lower attention spans. The reason doesn't matter too much though, since it solidifies the idea that even the most popular aspects of broadcast television are losing popularity. The networks are trying to adapt. Online services with exclusive content, sometimes putting certain sports games on Twitter even. But this will likely not work. Because right now, people are content with Netflix, with Hulu, with YouTube. And content on network television especially has seen a considerable drop-off in quality in the past decade or so. Not saying all shows are bad, but certainly much of the talent pool has left this part of the industry. So what's the point here? I don't mean to kick TV while it's down. In fact, it's the opposite. I mean, I'm not saying you should go get Dish and watch The Big Bang Theory, but I think it's important to look back at how all these new video services came around. Even though many of us aren't watching TV like people used to, it doesn't mean that the effects of those times aren't intrinsically linked to today. The entire concept of 30-minute narratives, visual media in the home, even this video you're watching right now, it all comes from the impact of broadcast television. In a way, it hasn't died, but instead transformed. More content, by more people, and more choices. The pool of talent that makes that show you love on Netflix would have worked for NBC if we were in a different time. It's nice to know that the legacy of television isn't lost, since watching videos is as popular as it's ever been. So what will happen to old television? The big three, the satellite TV providers, will they just disappear? Not for a while. They still have time to learn and change before their core consumer base shifts away. But in the meantime, we can appreciate the modern age of television. More content than ever before, and more accessible than we ever dreamed. The age where we all sit around the TV at 8 o'clock to check out what happens to the gang at Cheers are long gone. But you can still watch it on Netflix. This is Tyler of Knowledge Hub.